Hi everyone, it's Carol Allen with Love is in the Stars, and I am a week late in telling you about the stars of the latest non-royal royal, American royal. What is she exactly? Anyway, you know who I'm talking about. Yes, Meghan and Harry's second child and first daughter, Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor. How do you monogram that exactly? LDMW? Anyway, Lilibet Diana, who they are calling Lily, which is absolutely beautiful, of course, came into the world last Friday on June the 4th of 2021 at 11:40 a.m. in Santa Monica. And she is a powerhouse, let me tell you. They have just signed up for a whole lot of fun. Mommy and Daddy, Meghan and Harry. And I think they are never going to have a dull moment ever again. In fact, her chart reminds me a lot of her cousin Charlotte in England. These are both going to be little spark plugs and little superstars, actually. Lilibet in Vedic astrology, which has different dates for the signs and different calculations for the charts, has the rising sign of Leo and the sun sign of Taurus. And anyone born around midnight or noon has the sun really taking center stage in the chart. And the sun is the royal planet. It's the regal, royal, powerful, influential, confident, poised influence. Now, of course, it's not a planet; it's a star. But for ease of use, we call everything planets, including the moon, which is also not a planet. Anyway, the sun, of course, is the brightest thing in the sky. It lights up the world during the day, and so sun people with the sun, again, if they're born around noon or around midnight, people with the sun prominent in the chart, they also have just huge bright energy. You can't help but notice them. Now, in Vedic astrology, though, when we say, hey baby, what's your sign? We want to know your moon sign. And her moon sign is lovely. It's in Pisces, and it's in a constellation in Pisces, which is one of the original 27 Vedic signs called Revati. And no kidding, Revati means the wealthy. How do you like that? And then the sun is in the Vedic sign of Rohini. And Rohini is one of the most like sexy, beautiful, talented in the feminine arts signs. Rohini people are just totally beguiling and completely charming, and everyone falls in love with them everywhere. So I really think this girl, the world will be her oyster. And no surprise, right? She's got these incredibly attractive, charming parents who are making a huge splash and have ever since they got together. I mean, and have individually before they got together. But now they've inked all these incredible entertainment deals and publishing deals, and they have a podcast. Uh, and they recently were on Oprah. I'm sure you heard about that. So Lilibet has entered the scene in a really powerful family with a lot of influence and presence anyway. And then she's going to really hold her own. In fact, I think mom and dad have birthed somebody stronger than they are. There's a little technique we do in Vedic astrology where we look at how many ways Mars is influencing the chart. And this is a super complicated technique. It's called Cuja Dosha, and you use 3 different charts for this. And you look to the relationship of Mars to the rising sign, the moon sign, and Venus. And there's 9 ways a person can have Cuja Dosha. And the more ways you have it, the more basically what's called assertive pressure you have. Well, it's most of us have like 3 or 4 ways. People with it very low have a very hard time speaking up and owning their voice. People with it very high have a very hard time not speaking up and not owning everyone's voice. So Lilibet has it 7 ways. What? So that is very, 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 very positive for her. I don't know about for everyone else, but she will not be a wilting lily. Yeah, she's going to have no trouble speaking up. She's going to have no trouble knowing what she wants, asking for what she wants, telling everyone else what she wants. And I don't think what she wants is going to be bad by any means. In fact, she has beautiful combinations, things we call yogas, which is when you look at how the different signs, houses, and planets come together and form combinations. She has beautiful yogas for generosity and having a charitable nature and a disposition, really living up to her grandmother's name, right? Where you care about the world, you care about mankind, you want to contribute, you want to extend a helping hand to all and be a benefactor. So that is super lovely. And then, of course, Moon and Pisces people are pretty evolved. Pisces is considered the oldest, wisest, most spiritual sign. It's actually the sign of liberation and self-sacrifice. So she will be up to a lot of good. And she will also be up to a lot of fun. Venus is next to the sun in her chart and in the sign of Gemini. She's going to be a big flirt. She's going to be a total charmer. And, you know, Venus is also smiling on the moon. So she'll definitely be beautiful, no surprise, with her genetics, right? And she'll be a romantic. And I think she'll have a lot of romantic attention and romantic opportunities and intrigue later on in life. She, like her mother, would be smart to marry later. This is because the planet of delays, Saturn, rules her house of partnership, and then she has Jupiter in the house of partnership. Well, Jupiter gives you a lot of opportunity because it's the planet of abundance. In the house of partnership, it actually delays full partnering or marriage. And if it isn't delayed, usually those early relationships are more starter relationships, if you know what I mean. She also has Neptune in the house of partnership, and Neptune there tends to make a girl really want a prince and a fairy tale. Ironically, right? It really makes a girl kind of a hopeless romantic and can make her a bit starry-eyed. So she will figure it out, I'm sure. But in the meantime, I think she's obviously going to have a lot of privilege, a lot of fun, a lot of attention, and I think she'll really thrive. Now, what I was really happy to see, I looked at her chart with her brother, and they have really sweet, lovely connections. I think they're going to be really good, dear brother and sister. I think they'll be very close. His chart has a very sweet thing. It says younger siblings are connected to the self. There's a connection between the house of younger siblings and the house of the self. And then she has the planet of love in the house of older siblings. And then she and dad, their charts are quite sweet together. And I gotta say, she and mom are like absolute soulmates. Oh my God. Lilibet and Meghan, we do this amazing compatibility technique that's been used for centuries to arrange marriages in India. But you can do it for any relationship, not just romantic ones. And Meghan and Lily get one of the highest possible scores I've ever seen for being on the same wavelength. And then they have absolutely no negative anything. And then they have 2 out of the 3 what are called soulmate connections. They're going to really feel just so aligned and so on the same page and so in flow. And so I was very, very happy to see that. So I think this is going to be a very loved, very, you know, special, happy girl. And I think she will definitely want to work. She's got a ton of energy. She's going to be like the Energizer Bunny. This is because Mars and Saturn were in opposition at the time of her birth. This makes a person just go and go and go. If anything, they have to be careful of being kind of workaholic. And she has the sun in the career house, which makes a person put a lot of energy in career and usually have a lot of drive and ambition. And then she has Rahu, one of the other eclipse points, the north node of the moon, this is called, in the career house. And Rahu, wherever Rahu is, this is where we put our obsessive focus, or this is where we put a great deal of our attention. And Rahu, interestingly enough, rules the internet and technology and having influence over the masses. And so I could see her, I mean, I'm sure already they're going to have a little Instagram following for her. And we're all going to be like hungry to see what she's wearing and what she's eating and where she's going and, you know, all of that. So, so who knows? She might, you know, be a media mogul herself down the road. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if she also followed in her mother's footsteps and wanted to do something, you know, in a public way or in the arts. I think she'd be great in music. And, you know, with Leo rising, which I don't even know if I mentioned that. I think I did. Leo is, of course, the sign of royalty. And to have that as the rising sign, which is how the world sees you, also gives a person a lot of influence and prestige and authority. And Leos love the arts and love acting and things like that. So she's definitely a media maven. She's definitely a darling, and I think we're all gonna have a lot of fun watching this one grow up. So there you go, Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor is, you know, going to be one for the ages and is going to live up to her grandmother's work ethic and her other grandmother's, you know, being the queen of hearts, helping the people and really connecting with the public. I think this girl is going to do all of that and more. And Harry and Meghan are, again, going to need lots of vacations and lots of nannies, and they're going to have a blast. So congratulations to them, and thank you all for listening. If you would like to know anything about your own Vedic signs or those of your friends and family, you can learn more at my website, loveisinthestars.com. I actually have a whole program about the original 27 signs of Vedic astrology, which are so much more specific and really reflective of who we all are than just our, you know, traditional Greek signs, which along the way were adopted and used in India as well. But it's really the Vedic signs that give a lot more color and nuance and detail. And so, you know, like her rising sign Vedic sign is called the Mighty One. And it's symbolized, I kid you not, by a throne room. So, you know, the Vedic signs are just crazy amazing. So that program is called Signs of Compatibility. You can find it at loveisinthestars.com. And all my fun compatibility reports and things if you want to compare your chart to your parents or your siblings or your boyfriends, girlfriends, etc. So check that out, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.